night shift with a bunch of pigs. Okay, once again, welcome back. This is the drawer pull-out, whatever you call it, for my furnace in the house. As you can see, it's rotted out, totally out of shape. This thing has seen way better days. Leave it on the bottom. That got hot back there. We're gonna make a new one. I'm gonna take some measuring here. The most critical measurement is the width. If this is just a hair too wide, it will not slide into the slot. I guess if it's a bit undersized, it will still slide in, but I want it to be fairly snug. I want it to slide in and just have just enough tolerance that it doesn't get hung up. Because when you slide this in, you're actually scooping the ash that is in that slot in the furnace. So I want it to be snug as possible without being, like I said, too snug inside of that slot. The height, it'd be nice to get it close, but it doesn't have to be spot on as long as it's not too tall. It can be a hair shorter, that's not a big deal. The length, if it's too long, as you can see, I can just hack that off later. If I stick it in there and it's too long, I can just hack it off until it fits right. If it's a bit too short, again, not a big deal. It'll still go in and work. The most critical measurement is the width. So, we will start down. Let's just draw out a quick sketch here of what we're going to be doing. It's basically going to be a big square, and we're going to have a couple of bends for these sides, and in this front there's a couple of tabs on here. You can see actually this was a separate piece. We're going to make this all one piece so we can bend this front up and just hopefully bend in a couple of tabs on the front and give it a couple of welds just to hold that in there. And yeah, don't forget that handle. Need that to grab it and pull it out. So that is going to stick out here on the end. So our first measurement, the one that isn't super critical, is the length here. Keeping in mind we need 3/8 of an inch, half an inch for these tabs to bend in on the sides. So we got 23 1/4. So let's go to 23 3/4 with the sides. 23 3/4. We have to add 4 inches tall. This is the critical one. And you got to compensate for this bend as well. The bend will take up the thickness of the material. We're going to be using 16 gauge, right? Yeah. Here's a little scrap of 16 gauge I grabbed. We are 0.55. Okay. So that doubled up because two bends, this bend and this bend. We're looking at 100. We're just under 1/8 of an inch. Let's add a 1/8 of an inch for the two bends. So it will be, what was this, 4 inches times 2 is 8, and then this is 5 1/2. So 5 1/2 plus 8, 13. 13 1/2 plus 1/8. 13 5/8 is this measurement right here. 13 5/8. This front lid, as you can see, is a little bit taller. That's so it has a stop when you're pushing it in. You can use this back as a stop, but like I said, I don't know for sure if this one actually stops on the back or not. I know for sure it stops up here all the time. So we're going to keep going with that. And that is 4 3/4 plus, that's just about 1 inch. And 1 inch. So 4 3/4 plus 2 inches, 6 3/4. And then also, I don't know if you can see that, they bent this lip around so you're not grabbing a sharp edge. I don't know if I will have to do that with 16 gauge. That's a pretty big edge. As long as I dress that up, even like this right here, not even dress. This is just a factory finish. That doesn't feel like a bad edge. Then you're not going to cut yourself or anything on that. So I don't think we're going to need that second folded edge. So we would just go with the 6, what was it, 6 3/4? 6 3/4 on this extra little tab right here. Add that in. 6 3/4 inches. And that is it. I know. I did not do anything to prep this for welds. This is straight out of the plasma machine. of truth. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Look at that. Goes in all the way. Perfect.